What's up everybody, once again, my Matt, and welcome back to Let's Play Ocarina of Time 3D. In the last episode, we finished up the big post-side quest as Adult Link and made our way over to the Shadow Temple. In this episode, we're going to start the Shadow Temple, but first, we need to get inside. So, let's activate Din's fire on this central pillar and light all the surrounding torches. And we have opened the path to an infinite darkness that consumes even time itself. Also known as the Shadow Temple. Now, the Shadow Temple, in my opinion, is one of these shorter temples. Like, it seems like all the temples get shorter from here on out, even though we technically only have one main temple left. Something that is annoying in this temple are the talking walls. So they will tell you stuff like, the shadows will yield only the one with the Eye of Truth, handed down in Kakariko Village, and they will periodically interrupt you throughout this temple, so get used to it. But we already have our first puzzle right here, which makes use of the Lens of Truth, which, by the way, if you didn't get in the bottom of the well, you should have, because it's going to make this temple a lot easier on you. Now, you'll notice that one of the skulls didn't disappear, so if you come to this beak statue to say, make my beak face the Skull of Truth, the alternative is to descend into deep darkness. So what you gotta do is just push this guy to face the real skull. Now, we're not gonna do that just yet. Instead, we're gonna go down this path over here. Now, this is where we came in. This is where we're gonna go. I'm pointing that out because this temple is actually very, very easy to get lost in. A good tip for the beginning of the Shadow Temple is just always go left and then enter your first area that you see to your left. That way you never get lost. But one who gains the Eye of Truth will be able to see what is hidden in the darkness. Well, it's a good thing that we got it then. But yeah, see, if you just go left and just keep going left, you'll eventually come to another entrance. And the Shadow Temple here has gathered Hyrule's bloody history of greed and hatred. Well, isn't that just charming? What is hidden in the darkness? Tricks full of ill will. You can't see the way forward. Well, sorry, Wall, I actually can see the way forward. I have the Lens of Truth already, you fool. You know nothing of me and my powers. Anyways, in this room, check it out. That looks familiar, right? Same mini-boss and everything. We gotta fight Dead Hand one more time. Now, already we're at the mini-boss of this temple. That does not mean we are close to being done with it. It is really weird that the mini-boss is right at the beginning of this temple, and I like to think the developers just got bored of the standard formula. You know, because it's usually just get halfway through the temple, mini-boss, get item, use item to solve puzzles, and beat boss. So I think, like, the developers just got bored of that formula. We're like, you know what? Let's just change it up. Let's put the mini-boss directly at the beginning of the temple, give them the item, and then do a bunch of crazy puzzles with it. The only downside of that is that the temple feels really short after you get the item, because normally you're used to, like, associating the temple item with being almost done with the temple. So, like, you have that sort of mental association in mind already when going through temples. So to change that this late in the game, it doesn't really work out too well. Now, there's a cool glitch that you can do actually in this mini-boss. Well, you could do it. I actually did it on my second hit. What I was trying to explain was you can actually get really, really close to one of those hands, and as it's going down to grab you, stab it real quick with the sword, and then that'll cancel its grab on you, but still cause the boss to appear. So then you have, like, free reign to just go up and slash the boss whenever you want. But anyways, Dead Hand is dead again, so let's go and open up this first big chest and get ourselves the item from this temple. And what's it going to be? It's none other than the hover boots. With these mysterious boots, you can hover above the ground. The downside, no traction. You can even use these to walk for short periods where there's no solid ground. Be brave and trust in the boots. The hover boots are probably one of the cooler temple items, if you ask me. Like, they open up a lot of possibilities for puzzles and travel. We'll use them a little bit later in this temple, but for now, we're going to make our way to another hidden room. So what you're going to want to do is go left, find your first entrance, go left again, and come over to here. And, Wall, you already said this. Nobody likes a redundant wall. And in this room, unfortunately, we have a re-dead. So let's just go and play the Sun Song real quick. We'll freeze him in place. Then we'll take care of him. There's also two keys, I believe, that are on the wall. This is another room where you have to, like, kill everyone in order to get the chest to appear. So let's just get rid of these guys. Thankfully, they haven't moved from their post on the wall, so that's actually really awesome for us. Makes it easy on my part. By the way, it's so stupid that you have to wait for the bat to actually hit the ground in order for it to trigger the chest to appear. Like, that is just really, really dumb. But anyways, it's another big chest, so what's it going to be? We already got the item from this temple, so it can only be one of the generic items. And it is indeed the dungeon map. That is one thing that I like a lot about the Shadow Temple, is they give you both the map and the compass very, very early on in this temple, where you can actually get a lot of use out of them. Now, we're going to make our way back to the room with that stone statue in the middle. And all you had to do to get back there was just go left. So, like I said, that one tip, so incredibly useful. Now, what you're going to want to do in here is rescan the pillars. Sometime the skull moves. Like, I believe it was the one in the middle when we first came in, and now it moved over here. So, just make sure you rescan the place before you go and pull it to the wrong one. Because if you do, the floor actually falls out from underneath you, and then you just fall down. You respawn at, like, the beginning of the temple or somewhere like that, but you just don't want to waste your time with that. Alright, so let's just pull this guy over here. And that will open up the door in the face statue across the way. To get over there, though, we need to use our hover boots, so let me equip those real quick. And like the description said, you have no traction, so think of how Link acted in the ice caverns. That's pretty much how he acts all the time while wearing the hover boots, so it can be kind of annoying. But thankfully on the 3DS version, it's really, really easy and quick to take them on and off. And this temple is just that much easier as a result. Now, there's a big Beamos in here. You just kill them the same way as you saw. Throw a bomb at them. The wall in front of us is actually bombable, and how did that not blow up? I could have sworn that would have been close enough, but whatever. Behind it, there is a locked door. If you put on your lens of truth, though, you'll notice that the walls to our left and right, although they look bombable, they are indeed fake, and you can just walk through them. I want to go into this room, though, but there's two Gibdos, so what I'm going to do is actually charge up my spin attack fully and let it loose. That'll actually instantly kill both Gibdos without even alarming them. That is some pro tactics right there, man. That's what I'm talking about. Alright, but hey, another big chest. So what's it going to be? The last generic temple item, of course, which is the compass. Like I said, I like that they give you the compass and map early on in the game so we can make like full use of them. And of course the Beamos has respawned. Why did I even bother killing it? Doesn't matter. We're just going to go across the hall into this room now. And we have another 5 silver rupee puzzle. Oh, and there's also a death blade in the middle of the room that wants to kill us. So that's fun. Like, who designs that? Like, who just goes into these temples and says, alright, you know what this room needs? A giant spinning scythe that'll just kill anyone that comes in there if they mess up. Like, seriously, what is the point of that? Like, this is not proving our courage or our loyalty to the royal family at all. It's just dangerous. There's no point to make these things, alright? Now, as you saw, that opened up the gate, and there's a chest in there with a small key, but I want to point out this panel over here and this invisible floor. If you talk to the panel, this wall, it's saying something. It says, if you want to see a ferry to the other world, come here. So, if we jump down here, we can actually see a little boat over there. We'll come to that boat a bit later, but inside this pot, there's actually a ferry if you want it, by the way. There's also a block down here that will move a little bit later on that will allow us to come back up here if we really want to, creating a shortcut, although by the time the shortcut's actually created, you don't even need it, so yay, pointless shortcuts. Alright, let's just go back up and get ourselves that key. Don't want to forget it. I've actually done that before where I've literally gone through this room, done everything, and then forgot to pick up the key. I felt really, really stupid. But there we go, got ourselves that key. Now we're going to go back in that room with the Beamos because there was that locked door in there that we can unlock. And we'll move a little bit more through the temple, enter a few more areas, and get some more stuff done. So let's go to the left again, and just open up this door. Now you want to be careful in this next area because if you walk forward just a little bit, giant Skulltulas will fall from the ceiling. This happens periodically through this hallway, so just watch your step. Don't run too quickly forward, and if you have the hover boots on, you would probably want to take them off just because you can slide in them very, very easily. Oh, and look, guillotines, because, you know, spinning scythe blades weren't enough. Let's just throw in some guillotines, and I know that this is like the Shadow Temple, and it's supposed to be creepy, but this is just, oh, so unnecessary, and oh, yay! Now there's floor masters in this area. You know what, we're actually going to trigger this floor master and kill it, because this next area, I don't want him looming over my head. It can be kind of dangerous, but now that he's out of the way, let's just go through some more freaking guillotines again, I guess. Honestly, though, if I was Link at this point, I would just call it quits. I'd be like, nope, I'm done. Have someone else be the hero for a change. I've done my duty. And hello, Fire Bubble. Well, goodbye, Fire Bubble. You literally just jumped out of the ground to attack me and then killed yourself. Good job. And now we're fighting a Stalfos. We haven't seen one of these guys since, like, the Forest Temple, I think. Now that we have the big Goron Sword, though, a new tactic for fighting them has sort of opened up to us. If we duck, we can, like, spam stab with the big Goron Sword, and it works out really, really well. As you can see, I was able to take that guy out in, like, a few seconds. Now, in order to progress through the dungeon, you want to go this way, but as you can see, there are some hidden platforms in this direction, and this will actually lead us to, I guess, a little bit of a secret area where we can go and collect ourselves another gold Skulltula. Now, I believe this will be gold Skulltula number 82, if my count is correct, which means we only have 18 left after this, so not too shabby. In this room, though, put in your lens of truth, and you'll notice that there's an invisible spinning scythe blade. Because the visible ones weren't a big enough threat, let's just go and make one invisible. Why not? It'll be fun, said no one ever. Oh, we got a like over here, so let me just get out my arrows so we can make quick work of this guy. Now, I'm going to put on my lens of truth as well because there's this weird, bizarre hitbox glitch. You're going to want to aim below the blades. If you aim, like, on the same level as the blades, the arrows actually act like they're hitting something, even if the blade isn't there. So it's this weird, like, hitbox glitch, because they don't actually hurt Link unless the physical blades touch Link, but the arrows still act like there's a full, like, 360 hitbox. I don't know, it's really stupid. Anyways, there's one more keys over here, so let's just get rid of that guy, and that'll open up the way to our gold Skulltula. There's also a chest in there, but compared to the Skulltula, the chest is really not that important. But since we're here, we might as well open it up. What's inside? Well, 5 rupees, but don't leave just yet, there's more. If you put on your lens of truth, there's actually a hidden chest that contains a bundle of arrows, which honestly, not a bad deal. We were low on arrows, so I can appreciate that. But now that we're done in this area, we never have to return to it, so let's just go back out to where we were. Now, unfortunately for us, the Stalfos has probably respawned, and that is kind of annoying. Like, after you kill certain enemies, they should just stay dead. I mean, it'd certainly make our job a lot easier. But there he is. Let's just go and get rid of this guy once again. Sir, please let me kill you just quick and easy. I'll even do my little stabby move. There we go. See, that works out so much better. Like, it's crazy how well that actually works. But I think I'm going to end off the episode here. So, once again, guys, my name is Matt. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.